which are going to be the key points to winning this game. Number one, let's get right into it. The obvious one is a man named Lonnie Walker. Number one, he will either be the great equalizer to this game or the X factor that just puts us over the top. So the reason why we're starting with Lonnie is because I really do think he is that crucial to how this game is going to go. If we start struggling on the defensive end and or we're turning it over, or we're giving up offensive rebounds, we start, we don't come out hot or whatever. The one guy who can balance that out and keep us in the game and make sure that it doesn't get away from us is Lonnie Walker. And that's with his perimeter shooting, right? He's got to be able to knock down the three ball. It's so crucial to us being successful and really having a chance to not only succeed in this game and take home the W, but maybe even convincingly take home the W. So he can be the great equalizer to whatever flaws that we show. I also think in the same sense, he is the X factor in this game. We're going to talk about matchups and other, points of emphasis that are crucial to this game plan. But Lonnie Walker coming out and playing with an alpha dog mentality, shooting over, maybe he shoots 6 for 9 or something like that from the 3-point line. Gets to the rim a few times here and there, and just really has an on game. If that's the case, I really don't think there's anything for Spurs Nation to really be worried about. We're going to be in for a wild ride and a good ride, and we're not going to get blown out. Because when we look back and we look at the last 2 times we played Memphis, they whacked us. We played them on a back-to-back, and they kicked our tail both times. We had them in the beginning of the season, and that's where we took our one victory against them. But, that was a long time ago. So number 1 point, Lonnie Walker. He needs to be on, because he's either going to, like I said, pick up the slack and kind of keep us in a game that gets away from us, or he's going to be that guy that helps us spread and kind of separate ourselves from them, maybe build some leads. Number 2, we need to keep Ja Morant out of the paint. His whole game is predicized on getting to the paint and driving left. All right, now I'm a big fan of the Chris Vernon show over there in Grind City Media. So I actually do follow the Memphis Grizzlies quite a bit. And that's something that they've been talking about all season long. That all you got to do to stop Ja is stop him from going left, right? He loves to set up his move to the right, to attack left, put the ball in his left hand. He likes to get to the rim. He likes to play make for others. But everything is kind of predicized on him creating by attack, right? So we need to do that. That's like number 1. That's right now, if you're in the coaching room and you're like, okay, what's the defensive game plan? And it's number 1 thing is forcing Ja Morant into his right hand, right? And then there you go. We have him uncomfortable. We saw him go up against the Golden State Warriors. His jump shot is not there. It's not really a threat, something that we have to worry about. We have to worry about stopping his athleticism, making sure that he's not setting up dimes for wide open shooters or for Valanciunas and all that type of stuff. So it all starts with keeping him out of his rhythm, and that's forcing him right. So that's the big keywords on the bulletin board right now for DeJounte Murray. Force Ja Morant to his right. Number 3, we talked about him just a second ago. Jonas Valanciunas, man. Jonas Valanciunas is one of the most efficient big men in the league right now, and that's not just my opinion. That's facts. I don't know if you saw him against the Warriors, but man, he was there for it. So keeping him in check is going to be huge, and he's not gonna kill you. Like he's not gonna go on a 10-0 run, but he's gonna finish with 20 and 10. Right? That's him. He's gonna finish the game with 23 and 13 rebounds. That's what he's capable of doing. And it's slow, it's steady. It's not going to hit you over the head with it. But meanwhile, once you end up in the fourth quarter, he's done a number on your squad. All right, so key matchup there, Jakob Poeltl against Jonas Valanciunas for number 3. Just kind of keeping him decent. He can go off for maybe 15 and 8, something like that, 12 points and 6 rebounds, something in that nature. He gets a lot of his points and a lot of his rebounds from offensive putbacks. So keeping Jonas off of the offensive glass is probably Jakob's number one job in this game other than protecting the rim. That was number 3. Number 4. There's a guy named Dylan Brooks that we're going to talk about a few times maybe on this list of 12 things, right? So number 4, contest everything Brooks does and minimize his open looks at the lane, uncontested lanes to the basket, right? So that means that we have to have all eyes on Dylan Brooks. And I think in the matchup area, we're going to be looking at Lonnie guarding him for the most part. Maybe we see a little bit of Devin Vassell, a little bit of Patty Mills sprinkled in here and there. And the main thing with Brooks is that he's the guy that probably takes the most shots. It's probably either him or John Morant, number 1 and 2, on a game-to-game basis. You know, I've seen Dylan Brooks take like 22 shots, you know, and he can go off for 20 or 30 points a game because he does have that volume in his green light, right? The team has given him the green light, and he does not look to pass once he has the ball in his hands. So as soon as he catches the ball, if he's wide open on the 3-point line, we're chasing him off. And then once we chase him off, we got to know that we got to send 2 or 3 guys to stick with him. He's not going to go and play make and drop dimes and kick out to another open shooter. He's going to the rim and he's going to look to score. So making sure that we know where he's at all points of this game when he's on the floor, and just keeping his job tough. Chase him off the line. Like I said, contest. He's going to score some buckets. He's that good. You're not going to stop him from scoring some buckets. But we got to contest everything he does, and we got to make sure he's got no wide open lanes at the rim. Let's send him to the free throw line, make him earn it, and try to make his job as difficult as possible. Number 5. We got to win this game, honestly, with experience, poise, and coming out as the bigger dog. All right, let's start with the first one, experience. Who on the Memphis Grizzlies team has playoff experience? When you go down the roster, you have Jonas Valanciunas from when he was with Toronto. You have Kyle Anderson from when he was with San Antonio. And that's about it, yo. Like, dude, John Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Brandon Clark. You go down, Grayson Allen. I don't think he's back yet, but Grayson Allen was starting for a while throughout the season. I don't think he's back off injury. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But none of those guys have playoff experience. Their head coach does not have playoff experience. But who do we have? We have Patty Mills, who's a champion. We have Rudy Gay, who's been in a lot of battles. Jakob Poeltl was here for it against Denver 2 years ago. Right? DeJounte Murray has been in the playoffs every single year except last season. So when it comes to experience and being ready, we have a dump truck load more than Memphis does. Right? Now that's huge. And then when we talk about Pop, I mean, come on. When we had the big 3, it was like I didn't care who he played because Pop was just the man. Who knows better adjustments than how to make better adjustments than Pop? So when you want to size up the coaching, you know, coaching versus coaching, oh come on, we take that by a landslide, right? Poise, we can't get rattled in this game. Memphis is a team that plays with the energy and they're all about the rah-rah, right? They love to yell and one and get each other pumped up because they're a young team. They play and they feed off that energy. We got to stay poised when they do hit us with a couple of runs. And then the last part of number 5 was be the bigger dog. Just like I said, they come out with all that fire and energy, and they like to pretend not pretend. I mean, they're good. They're a good team, but they're not that good. That's the thing. They are not that good. They beat the crap out of us twice, but they are right in front of us in the standings for a reason. Okay, for a reason. Which we'll get into in a little while, but we can't come out and get shell-shocked. In other words, they come out and they start the game with a dunk or 2 on us and you know, they're pounding their chest. I don't want to see our guys kind of fall into a little shell or get a little scared. We need to come back and punch back, right? We got to punch first, and that's kind of what I'm saying. We got to come out being the bigger dog, all right? So that's number 5. win with experience, poise, and be the bigger dog. Number 6, nothing easy